Hello and welcome back to Edu Protocols Are As Good as Gold. Today we're going to be talking about the worst presentation ever. This one is a lot of fun, and I think the kids love this one as well because they get to make the ugliest presentation. And it's so funny because when you tell them to just make a presentation, usually their graphics, their color schemes, their fonts are all off and it's still hard to read. But when you tell them to make the worst one ever, they just have a blast with it. And they have no idea that their presentations normally look like the worst presentations ever. Some of them are really good. But it's just really funny to watch them in this setting, in this environment, working with a group. Okay, so with the worst presentation ever, there is a couple different steps. First, you want to go over what makes a really bad presentation. So I usually play a video and I go through like a quick slide deck. It usually takes about 15-20 minutes to just kind of go over some of the broken rules that come with a presentation that some students or teachers might think are really well. The second thing that they're going to do is this one is like starting off the year. So maybe to get to know your students, you might use like a sport or a hobby. And there's different ideas for like just to get to know your students because it's a really good way for your students to kind of practice. Step 3 is students are going to break at least one rule per slide. So they have to break something on each slide. And then they present somebody else's deck, but you don't tell them. And that's, I think, what is really fun is they have no idea that they're presenting someone else's deck, but they are. So right here, there's a video that I like to show, and it's on YouTube. It's this guy, and he gives a presentation, and it's about 4 minutes. So it's really funny, though, because he talks about, like, I don't want to play the video because I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. But you can see, like, over here, he talks about different things on PowerPoints and how they, like, sometimes use images that aren't very good. They might have misspellings. They might have different things. So there's one. I don't know why it has the bathroom. So here's one version of what he has done, and then there's a couple others. And he's again really, really funny, and it's good to use. And yeah, make sure that you use a clean version because there is one that is not the clean version, and it's not appropriate for school. So just make sure you do have the right version. Pause the video and let the kids take notes on those broken rules. You might assign this so that they can kind of pause it on their own. An example might be like too many bullet points is like one of the broken rules. And there's a ton. There's like stretched images. There's like so many different ideas that the kids can do, and they absolutely think it's hilarious. Then students might pick one of the hobbies, just a beginner, or you might provide the topic that they're going to do. Students will then create their worst presentation, and they're going to break at least one rule per slide, just one per slide. And then they have to remember that they need to do all the errors, and they need to have a certain amount of time. So they need to make sure that they're working efficiently because they do have a lot that they have to focus on. And then there is a twist, and you don't tell the kids. So after the students create the ugliest presentation ever, there's a twist at the end, and the kids will have to present somebody else's presentation. So they have no idea what might be on those slides. So you might want to give them like 2 minutes just to prep, and then they are going live, and they're they're presenting a presentation that's not even theirs, and it might be hard to read because there's too many bullet points. And again, it's just kind of a fun way for them to gain knowledge and really understand different things. So here are just some ideas that you might want to use with your students. For example, don't use too many crazy colors. Do use colors that look nice. Don't write everything you will say. Do use words and sentences. So it just kind of goes over some ideas of like worst presentations. And then on this one is a template that I've kind of created. So like here's one, it's Death by PowerPoint. And it's another version of another talk that he did. And it talks about like stretched images. It talks about like all these different things. And again, the kids thought it was just hilarious. You can see here like data. And then he's like, add lots and lots of data. So I will provide that link in the Wakelet. Then I go over this slide deck. So I have a really boring slide deck. And again, it takes me not super long. I go really quick. And I usually try to present it really bad too, because why not? But it just talks about using lots of bullet points, data that you don't even understand because there's just data everywhere. Using stretched images. This one's using a movie clip that doesn't even really involve with the presentation. Clip art, but it's not like the same clip art, and it's just lots and lots of clip art. This one's word art. Stretched or pixelated photos, the transitions that never seem to end, links that don't even work, and then having like typos or using text to speak, videos that don't even work. Here's like color schemes. You can't even read it. It makes everyone squint. It's the color of puke. And I just love this so much. Here's another one, adding like a photo that's really busy and then adding words. Oh God. Using colors and lots of fonts. Same thing here. Using an image and then writing on top of it. Here's one with lots and lots of data. And again, it just kind of goes over real quick a presentation that is pretty bad. And I love this one. We try to fit it all in. And so it's just kind of really fun for the kids to see all these things, and they're taking notes as you're presenting this to them. And then again, they're going to create their worst slide ever, and they are going to break at least one rule. So we can see here, here's kind of a template, and then the kids can use these different notes to keep going. And again, like they're going to have images, they're going to have stretch images, they're going to have lots of bullet points, lots of different things that they're going to do with their thing. And these are just other templates that you might be interested in using with your students for them so that they know what to kind of expect. And then here's like 2 different YouTube videos that also go over the worst presentation type ever. And then here's just some notes for you as a teacher if you're doing this for the first time and you might need a little bit more support. But again, the kids really pick up on it pretty quickly because it's a lot of fun. And then here you'll choose a topic. They'll break one rule. There's 5 per deck. I do limit the slide deck. I tell them usually 5, but depending on the topic, you might do more or less. And then I might have them list the rule that's being broken on the slide as well. So that way I know for sure, but you can usually tell. And then each student, again, they will present, but they're going to present somebody else's presentation. Then they're going to get feedback, and then you can kind of mix it up. And again, the kids love the worst presentation ever. It's a lot of fun, and it keeps them really, really engaged. And this is just like another example of using the worst presentation as well. All right, well, I hope that was really helpful. And just a reminder that all of the links will be available on this Wakelet at the end of this session. You can go in and view past sessions, and you can also make copies of any of the slide deck and resources and use them in your classroom. Thank you so much for joining us on goldedu.org. And you can also tag us on Twitter at goldedullc. And we look forward to connecting with you all very soon. And let us see those worst presentation evers on Twitter. So make sure you tag us because I absolutely love watching them on Twitter. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.